Yo, what's up guys, it is time for Mega Evolution Monday. And so keeping up the hype for the Generation 4 remakes, which are probably not going to come for a while, we've got Mega Bibarel here today. Probably one of the most exciting Pokemon to ever exist. Yep. Well, let's just pretend, I guess, for today, just for this video, okay? Alright, starting off, let's use a Mega Stone with the name of maybe like Bibarel or something. Let's go crazy with this guy. I know I like balanced Megas, but his stats are so low anyways, it's almost impossible to give him like a super good Mega. Like, maybe like plus 100 in like attack and give him like speed boost and he still might not be that great. I think that this custom Mega design that you see on screen was one of the best that I could find, and its new color scheme gave me inspiration for a new type. Since Mega Bibarel doesn't really seem to use its water typing so much, it should gain the dark typing to match that black. I mean, when I think of a Bibarel, I only really think of normal, because it's pretty normal and average, and that's why I felt like normal is more fitting. So, to continue on with the changes, we've got abilities next. I always thought that since it's a normal type, and it becomes a dark type, kind of contradicts itself, so maybe it needs a ability that contradicts itself too, like Contrary. For those that don't know, Contrary makes your stat boosts opposite of what they should be. If you use Sword Stance, you're going to get a minus to attack, which kind of sucks. But if an opponent lowers your stats with Intimidate, you get an extra boost to your attack. If your opponent uses Shadow Ball and lowers your special defense, you get a raise instead. It's an insanely cool ability. So how can Bibarel use it, and why will that make him a better Pokemon? Well, let's take a look at its stats. Those stats look pretty horrid. But what happens when we give it an extra 100 stats with Mega Evolution? Well, let's take a look. So let's do some explaining here. Why did I do this? First off, the new Bibarel design looks more powerful and strong. This will allow it to get a 20 stat boost in attack and speed with all that extra bulk and power. Heck, it even has fangs. That's just scary. I mean, can you imagine Bibarels on every route? Just think about how much more annoying that would be than Zubat. Gosh, Supersonic Leech Seed. Every Bibarel. No? Alright. But it looks more bulky and tough, and that toughness is reflected in its stats. All that extra fur, made me give it a plus 30 in defense, while the look of more awareness gives it a slight 10-point boost in its special defense. Still looks pretty dopey, but it's a little bit better. Finally, to round it off, we have a plus 20 boost in special attack. This is because Dark-type moves are generally special, and water as well. And stereotypically, it's special even though there are moves like Crunch, but before it used to be special, and I felt like just like Mega Mamoswine, this makes more sense to have a boost in special attack. Now, as you can notice, it does have very even distribution, so it's still evenly distributed, which is what I like to see in a Mega. In addition, Bibarel should get the ability to get Sucker Punch due to its ability to look very dopey like a sucker, then lash out with insane power. I would think that regular Bibarel would be able to do that as well, because it actually has arms. I mean, to be honest, even Wooper can get Ice Punch, so if you can use Ice Punch because you're not an Ice type and you don't have arms, Bibarel, who is a sucker and has arms, should be able to as well, don't you think? As for the custom set, you'll want to make use of its new typing and moves to get stab bonuses for return and its new move Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch even has priority, so Bibarel can go first sometimes, which helps with its speed. To top that off, give it superpower to make use of Contrary, just like Malamar. For those of you who don't know, when you use Contrary and Superpower, it will get an attack and defense boost every single time you use Superpower. Combined with a 105 base attack and 120 base power Superpower, the power will emanate from Bibarel's soul to take the lives of the opposing team. I'm getting a little bit out of hand, aren't I? Well, it will also boost the power of all your other moves, because the attack boost works for all physical attacks. That's assuming you are running a physical attack on all your other moves. But that's still pretty neat. As for the last slot, you got pretty good coverage already, so status could be the one thing that kills you. So you can either use Substitute or Rest. Substitute is useful on the Switch as you scare something out, even though Bibarel's not very scary. Its stats might be a little bit scary to some people, so they might want to switch out And you can set up a substitute on the Switch, because they might switch out into something like a Sableye or something like a Meowstic male, and that will prevent Icky status from hurting you that next turn. And especially, a lot of status users cannot break substitutes because they're just not strong enough. So that'll allow you to get some valuable time and ability to keep your stat changes before they can destroy your substitute. Now, it will sap your HP, but it will give you a temporary wall. So it might not always work. So if you don't think it's going to always work, Rest can get rid of status and heal you, but it's going to take 2 turns to wake up. So it's really up to you. Bibarel isn't the bulkiest Pokemon, but superpower boosts are very helpful to ensure the longevity of Bibarel. And finally, while all of its abilities sort of suck, you'll want to be running Unaware before you Mega Evolve. Why? Well, Moody's banned in most formats, so I can't really recommend that because half the time it's not going to work. And Simple has a huge chance of ruining you because most often it's going to be an Intimidate, or it's going to be a random defense drop or special defense drop. So you might just end up with like a -2 attack or -2 defense Mega Bibarel before you even start with Contrary. So that's not very good. Unaware is the only neutral one, I suppose, but it also lets you ignore the stat changes if they have boosts. So that could be helpful for when you get in and revenge killing, because when you're at full HP, you'll be able to take probably a hit. But Bibarel will not have Unaware when it after Mega Evolve, so it's gonna have to be pretty weak because Bibarel doesn't have the stats for revenge killing anyways. But a couple of things before we finish off this episode. You'll want to watch out for Sableye, Mega Sableye, Spiritomb, Meowstic Male, and Whimsicott. Why? Well, they all have pretty much Prankster, and Spiritomb has no weaknesses that you have, so the only thing that can take out Spiritomb is Sucker Punch, so that's gonna be a problem because you won't really be able to touch it. And same thing for Sableye and Mega Sableye, you won't be able to touch them except for Sucker Punch, so if you can set up a substitute, that might be helpful because then they have to attack you, but Sucker Punch is not going to be doing anything anyways unless you have a lot of boosts already on Superpower, so that's kind of a problem. And if you have a substitute, you'll be wanting to get those out as soon as possible because all of the other guys are Prankster users with, you know, a ton of moves like Status, Leech Seed, Will-O-Wisp, all that junk. And the only other Prankster user that I can think of is Lipard, who is also a Prankster user, but it dies to Superpower, so that's not really as much of a problem. But anyways, that's it for today's Mega Evolution Monday. As always, I will put a link to the fan art, Mega Evolution template, Mega Evolution sign, and the song in the description below. If you liked any of those that you thought were pretty good, go ahead and show your support to the original artists. But just to let you guys know, tomorrow we might have a Hoopa giveaway to celebrate something, and I will get into that tomorrow. And just watch out for that video, it's going to be awesome. Giving away 2 Hoopas, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys next time.